And we are live. Hello, everybody. And there's Flowing. Hi, Carmilla. Mwah. Good to see you again, my dear. So good to see you again, popping in chat. And it is Mabon. So blessed Mabon to everybody and the autumnal equinox. And Nancy and I came dressed in our colors for fall. And we hope everyone has been enjoying the beautiful weather. I hope everyone's got beautiful weather. I know we have. And Jax was here first and foremost. Hello, my dear. Howdy, howdy, right back to you. And it's amazing how fast this year is going.
My favorite time of year.
It is mine
Fast
too.
approaching.
And it's starting to cool a little bit more. The leaves are starting to turn, and
Yeah, they
you
are.
get that smell in the woods, from the trees and everything. And just like Nancy said, so we hope everyone had a great weekend and a great start to your week so far. And so today, Nancy and I are taking two little slightly different aspects to our show. I wanted to focus on a little bit on Morgan Le Fay. She has been a goddess that has been in and out of my life since 2007. And I always feel and censor her around this time because of the harvest, the apples especially, and her being connected to the Isle of Avalon. And Nancy wants to read on the corn mother, so the corn harvest from our native indigenous peoples of the North and South Americas. So two
Yes.
little.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
What's that?
I said yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And when we do our readings in a bit, she has
My
devised.
husband must be here because he used to say that all the time.
Oh, your husband. Well, there you go. Well, the veils are getting thinner.
Yeah.
Cam is here. And yes, my favorite time too. And same, but I need to move somewhere that has a fall. It will happen. Well, we have a fall here, Jack. So, but
I
yeah.
have something I want to show you all real quick.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
It's my Ricky. Okay. And before he got so sick that he couldn't go out, we went to eat at one of our favorite restaurants, and I was sitting across the table, and I had my camera on my phone, and I said, "Smile at me."
Aw, what a beautiful smile.
That's my honey.
That's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Aw. And it's interesting that you saying that made you think that he was around you when today I was writing something and I did my eye. The only time I ever do it's weird. I never do a circle with like an empty circle for an eye. It's always a solid. But my cousin who passed away that I talk about sometimes when she was very young, she used to do her writings with a circle with an eye. And I looked, I went, oh, she must be stopping by to say hi. So we both had some loved ones showing up today in spirit. So that is wonderful. Everyone's saying hello. So today, Nancy and I, when we opened up the floor for readings, she devised her 3 or 4. I can remember 3 or 4. Three. And then I created my 3. So this should be a very interesting show. I'm excited for it. And without further ado, I'm just going to hand it all over to
I was just going to say, let's brace yourselves because this is going to be a little different.
And different is good. And Keith just joined us.
Oh.
Welcome, Keith.
Oh, hi, Keith. First of all, we're real big here on Halloween, and I know it's not Halloween yet, but I ordered something for Halloween, and I don't know if y'all have ever seen one. You probably have. It's an Aztec
death whistle.
Death whistle. Yeah, I was just looking at that face. See him?
That's scary.
Now, I'm gonna blow in it, And I want you all to like turn your volume down a little bit. Okay. Do any of you have one of these or something similar? There are a lot of different ones. Some are big and some are, tiny like this one. And I'm going to use it at Halloween. My son has a Halloween party every year. And I thought it would be fun, to just out of nowhere blow it.
And
See what
she's right. She's serious when she says if you got your volume up on high, you might
Yeah.
want to turn it down just a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah. Okay. Is everybody ready? Okay, here we go. Everybody all right? Can you hear me? Are your ears working?
I can hardly hear you, Nancy. What? Oh my God.
Well,
She goes,
$15 on Amazon.
Carmela loves it. I want one.
Of course, of course. And all kidding aside, really, when you think about it, if you're a woman that is out alone at night, like in a parking lot or something, or walking down the street, walking your dog in the city, there's a string that comes with this, or you could put it around your neck, or you could have it in your purse. And if you felt threatened by someone, if you blow this, it's a lot scarier than a regular whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And my son said, "Mom, it sounds like a woman screaming." People would come to that to try and help whoever was screaming, hopefully. But I think the guy that you are, or the person that you are blowing the whistle for, it would scare the living daylights out of him or her or them. So that's just a thought,
Lots of compliments or comments. Keith
Comments. Oh,
said
lots of
that literally sounds like a slasher film scream. Jack said, "We told you."
Yeah, I said turn it down. I just have to, simple pleasures, right?
Very
I
haunting.
just, it's
Yes,
like
excellent.
I have a crow caller, and I go out on my covered porch when the crows are close, and I blow it, and they go crazy looking for this intruder crow, but it keeps them on their toes, and they love it.
So yeah.
Okay, my goddess is the Corn Mother, and I love this picture of her. And I'm just going to read you a little bit, and then I wanted to share some personal things with you regarding gratitude in the harvest. Corn Mother holds profound significance in Native American culture. She represents essential aspects of life, sustenance, and cultural identity. She's a symbol of abundance, fertility of the earth, and embodying the nurturing and living qualities of corn. She safeguards ancestral wisdom. Corn Mother signifies the cyclical nature of planting, growth, and harvest, reminding us of our interconnectedness with nature and the rhymes of the earth. As the embodiment of sacred feminine energy, she highlights the power of creation and the nurturing role that is in women. And men can be very nurturing too. I don't want to, just, uh, talk about the mother. The Corn Mother inspires gratitude and celebration for the earth's abundance, and this reminds us to share our blessings with others. Now, that is the positive aspect of the gathering of the corn and the bounty of the harvest. But there's another real possibility, is when the crops fail. And, if you think about in ancient times when the Corn Mother was, walking the earth, and they relied heavily on their crops. The braves would go out and hunt, the women would gather berries and different and herbs, and I'm sure they had some spices as well, that they would prepare and save for winter, for when everything around them was dead. And of course the braves always hunted, but when there was like a famine, where there wasn't, the crops failed for whatever reason, many of them died. They didn't have a grocery store they could go to. They relied heavily on the work and the labor that they did to try and get them through the winter months. And when I was thinking about this, well, there were a couple of things that came up. I used to be friends with a lady. Her name was Shirley, and she had a fruit stand, fruit and vegetable stand, and she was close to where we lived and raised our children. And I got all my fruits and vegetables from her. She would go to Asheville to the farmers market and come back with all this fresh stuff. And one day it wasn't busy when I went by, and we were talking, and she said, I really worry about if our crops ever fail, if we have a year when everything is, I think she said, fallow. And she said, we're one crop away from starvation. And if something happened and we had no crops, we would go to the grocery store, and what was there would be bought, and all the canned goods would be bought, but they couldn't be making more canned goods because there would be nothing to can. And I think a lot of people that are preppers, they talk about that. This is what they are planning for, is something, because what Shirley said is, today there are very few people that know how to grow crops. I was telling Heather, we have a large portion of land around us that we could cultivate and we could grow. I mean, there used to be my father-in-law and mother-in-law, they had a garden, and that's where they got all their vegetables. They had fruit trees and everything. But I'm not well versed or acquainted in how to do that, and so it's something to think about. And another thing regarding this, which is kind of like on the, not the, I mean, it's to be grateful for what we have. But my father lived during, well, so did my mother, but my father lived during the Great Depression. And they had to leave the city because there was no work. There was no, way to get food. And they had some farmland in Indiana that overlooked the Ohio River. And that's where they went. And they relied, like the Native Americans did, on the crops that they could make. And, they worked very, very hard. They lived in an old farmhouse. They had an outhouse. There was a well outside. There was no internal plumbing. And, they worked the land for their food. And my father was not a big fan of green beans, because one year that was the crop that flourished. And they canned green beans and had green, and he said, I ate green beans and we shared green beans with everybody, because that was what they had, and they would add some meat to it that they had, because they had chickens and pigs and everything, cows. But anyhow, that was my father's family. My mother's family, my grandmother, her name was Maud. And there were a lot of beggars because they didn't have homes. I guess they were like our homeless people now. And a beggar would knock on they would come to the back door of the house and knock on the back door, because that's usually where it was close to the kitchen. And they would tell her that they were hungry. And whatever she was cooking for the family, she would fix them a plate. And they would sit out on the steps and eat, and then just leave the plate and go on. Well, all of a sudden, there were just all these people all these beggars that were coming to her house, and she never turned anybody away. I mean, there might be 4 or 5 people sitting on
Same
that
with my
step
mom.
with plates.
Mhm.
But what she finally came to realize is that one of the beggars had marked her house, that she was a giving person, and that she would not turn anybody away. I don't know what the mark was. I mean, you can look in history books and they talk about it. And but she never turned anybody away. She always had a plate of something for them. And that has to do, with the gratitude of having enough to eat, that you give. If you're blessed, then you turn the blessings.
Yes.
um you play it forward or pay it forward. Well, that's what I have about the corn mother and about the crops and everything. And I think we need to be aware that there may not, I mean, we had it happen here when we had the flood. um the food suppliers couldn't get here because of the bridges that were out, and a lot of the warehouses were destroyed. And our after a few days, the grocery stores didn't have anything in them. We had to rely what was on our pantry. And then people started just stopping by the house and bringing food, people that had food. And then they had places where you could go, churches where you could go, and they would give you cleaning supplies and all kinds of like canned beans and peanut butter and tuna fish and stuff like that. So that was the blessing, having that. Uh, and So I know that from personal experience, but that's what I've got.
And some of the other indigenous female deities or goddesses of,
Mm-hmm.
at least that I know of properly, at least in North America, like White Buffalo Woman. She also provided and sacrificed herself for, the growing of the
Mm-hmm.
corn. There's also recently I learned of Salu, a Cherokee goddess. And then there's also a Tira, considered a corn mother. So a lot of these
Mm-hmm.
uh, women, these mystics, whether they're actual deities, if you want to look at them at archetypes,
Mm-hmm.
they flourish through all different cultures, even within nations within the same continent. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very
Yeah.
powerful. And Jack said, my dad liked to use this joke. One of his number one hits, he'd say, I'd have a tip for you. Plant your corn early, which is extra funny because last life with him, we were farmers, go figure. And even he says he barely knows how to purify water. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, a lot of us don't even know how to do that. And let's see, Roman says exactly people putting food into their mouths without any idea where it comes from. We have digressed so much away from nature. This is part of the root of the environmental issues we are facing.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
Exactly.
And Shan just recently watched a documentary, and it's got Woody Harrelson because Woody Harrelson is very pro helping
Mm-hmm.
farmers, doing re-energizing crops and land. And there was a documentary, look up with Woody Harrelson, and it was amazing how they go and they teach people how to refarm, how to redo the refertilize, and how to use, what we toss out, the compost, using, natural human fertilizer, animal fertilizer. And it's just amazing how a lot of areas people are reinvigorating the soil,
Mm-hmm.
for to be able to grow food. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
I
all
thought about
fascinating.
getting chickens. We could put chickens on, a coop in the
Eggs.
then yeah, for eggs. And also we, mother and daddy, we when I lived with them out on they had some acreage, and we had chickens, and we also had quail.
Ooh.
And so you know
And
but
and Carmela said that's how my parents ran their business. Everyone
mhm,
was fed. And
mhm,
if we don't labor something, we won't truly value it. And Roman also said an acquaintance visiting us from Iowa was shocked when the fish on the platter she ordered was not square. She had only ever eaten fish patties.
Oh
I
my.
know, right? Good Lord, Roman. Yeah. So it goes to show a lot of this younger generations don't
Hmm.
realize. I mean, my mom had a garden every year, you know,
Yeah.
tomatoes and cucumbers and squash and carrots and beans. And I'd have to be out there helping her, check the
And
plants.
you ate, and you ate what?
And we ate them.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you ate what, if something failed one year, you ate lots of tomato sandwiches, you know.
Yep. With a little bit of mayo and something that's really good.
Oh, goodness.
Um,
Yeah, nothing better.
so for me, and this is quite the read, so I'm looking at this trying to see how to break it down. And this article that I found, turns out that the woman who wrote it, who is a priestess of Morgan Le Fay,
Mm.
actually lives here in Ashland, Oregon at the Priestess Temple and runs a priestess school. So it was kind of like it was like a triple triple hat today with me with
Yeah.
this. So, but a lot of people know Morgan Le Fay as characterized as the evil sorceress, harlot, as like, sister of um, King Arthur and thwarting him and causing war and things and stuff. But of course, as people started to as Christianity moved in, and you had a lot of more of the Christian monks coming in and looking at oral stories, they and writing them down from their perspective, and of course
Hmm.
that carrying in as women became more and more subjugated and lowered in society, even writers of the time. So like Jeffrey of Mammoth, he was one of the ones, first one actually, they credit writing about her in 1100 something in
Mm.
his Merlin Bettini or something like that. I'll be down there, but again, casting anything that was feminine into something that was fearful, um dark, evil, and completely losing the healing, the magic, the herbs, the natural power of the land. And so, and again, the connection with the earth. So she was the sovereign goddess of Avalon. Being connected. We saw also the Mists of Avalon. I mean, I think, assuming most of us have at least heard of the book, The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. And my first connection to Morgan Le Fay was when I was visiting a friend when I was living in Flagstaff. She invited me over and said, "We want to watch this." I said, "I never saw it." And the minute it began with the music and seeing her on the boat going in the water, it just, I still get goosebumps all over. I started crying. It was like I was choking on my tears. And my friend Leisha's looking at me going, "Girl, what's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know." And she's like, "Past life." So, um, yeah, I've read the book and seen the series, and of course, again, it's another Hollywood take, and it's a fiction, approach, but at least paved her in more positive light. And the whole connection with King Arthur and Excalibur and everything. And she's held titles. Some still associate her with the Morrigan. I personally did a card reading this morning and asked them if they were the same, and I was definitively told no. But they do work. I got the Two of Cups. They are connected. They are symbiotic. They do work with each other, their energies, and so of course Morgan's, Le Fay is still more than welcome with Morgan to work with me. So at least for my reading, the answer was a definitive no. They're very two separate. She was also known as Fairy Queen, the Sea Priestess, because of Mor being connected to Mer, to the water. Um, Enchantress, Priestess of Avalon, of course, Goddess of War and Death. She's been called a trickster, associated as Lady of the Lake, but that's more like Vivian. Again, different aspects of the mythology being rewritten from different perspectives over the generation. And I love how she wrote, she is empowered, she is fierce, she is magic incarnated.
Mm.
And, her name is Priestess Grael, who wrote this. I can't wait to meet her. When I feel Morgan Le Fay begin to enter my body, it is as if she rises from the space between my cells. She is of the other world, the inner world, the liminal space that resides at the precipice before leaping into the abyss. And then she goes and explains how she Morgan Le Fay came to her around 1991 um, in a temple in near Mount Shasta, California, of all places too. And so she talks a little bit about that. But yes, she Morgan appears in writings as early as the 1100s. We're mostly all mystical and healing, but then again, like she said, as the Christianity took over, and we had the writers in that time rewriting who she was and kind of throwing her into that again. Throughout the 12th centuries, her healing, loving, protecting character went into one of evil, manipulative, and destructive, especially of King Arthur and his beloved Guinevere. So again, she continues about her own personal experiences, and then she says we find remnants of the Morgan or Morgan throughout the British Isles, as well as the Breton people of France. Her sensual hips traveled with the ancient Celts throughout all of Europe as the essence of the crone, warrioress, and seductress. She is an exquisitely beautiful elder, yet frightening through her sovereign and power-filled presence. Her courage, stealth, grace, loyalty, wisdom, stamina, and crystal clear vision of the larger picture at hand is astounding. While standing on the tour of our holy Isle of Avalon, which is a dream of mine to go there someday, with the wind whipping and the ravens hovering, we can feel her strength. They also connected to the egg stone, Nancy, which is featured in our deck by Rebecca Campbell. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of the cards showing the woman sitting on the
Mm-hmm.
goddess egg stone.
Yes.
And so it's also called the dragon egg as well. And Morgan, often translated to queen or of the sea, is directly related to Avalon. Morgue, mortuary, mort are all connected to her name as well. Avalon is known as the Isle of the Dead, but it's also known as the Isle of the Apples as well. And she is a death queen with the original waters that surrounded the Holy Isle, presided over 9 priestesses who were prophetesses and healers. Avalon was an oracular center, much like Delphi of Greece. And she goes to continue, I personally believe that she resided within the Druidic priestess college there. And as a woman of the well, quenching the spiritual thirst of many. I love that too. So let me, of course, again, it says here her character has changed over time. Her power, yes, is very much misunderstood. And so, what Lady Grail, or Priestess Grail, suggests, she goes, I encourage you to journal about your own dualistic behaviors. We can be shed, what can be shed and what can be reclaimed at each dark moon. So again, we're at the equinox, the light and the dark. So this is a perfect time to journal this, your own dualistic behaviors. Morgan is also known as a great herbal healer. The trees associated with her are apple, yew, and blackthorn, all trees symbolizing magic and death. Her plants are herbs for both healing and ones that are poisonous. So she continues on. Let me just see if there's anything outside of her practice. She says here, though, I encourage you to step into the center of your own wheel in life. Navigate from a place of being the captain of your ship. Practice your own healing modalities. Create enchanting environments to live, pray, and work. Study to be a death doula and bring the sacred to mortality and remind those around you of immortality. Reignite healthy magic into your life, partnership, and family. Increase your libido, excuse me, by exploring eco-sensuality with yourself or your lover. Didn't read all the way down. There we go. We got that out there. Learn to shapeshift into the person you have always dreamed of becoming. Reach into the back of your raven's throat and make your soul sound.
Mm.
Um, Morgan teaches us how to protect, heal, and manifest what we need for a truly joyful life. She leads us into the inner mysteries and magic of our priestess lineage. May you receive her, remember her, and embody her aspects that resonate most for you. And I just want to share her invocation before I
Mm.
wrap this up. Raven, healer, she of the sea, drop your cloak and fly with me. Apple sword, moon and spell, herbal salve and wishing well. Morrigan, witch, Lady LaFay, I call you forth on this day. Teach me to shapeshift and to save. Rebirth my death, enter my cave. I am enchanted, I feel your feather. Raven's branch, remain my tether. I shall return and give the scry. Transmute the battle, transform the cry. Apple, blackthorn, yew, and tor, dragon eggs within the moor. Wailing, whispering, she of the she, fairy queen, goddess, I invoke thee. I love that.
Oh, would you take a screenshot of that and send it to me? I love.
I will. Yep,
Oh, thank you, thank you.
most definitely. And I know we've been having some chatter, so let
Mm-hmm.
me kind of back up here a little bit. Okay, not too far. So let me see where I was. Okay, and Carmela says, I miss our family garden. Yes. Let's see, it has to do with my grandparents kept a garden, but it was because they had 12 kids. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Definitely. And Jack said, the lady of the lake held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water, signified by divine providence. I, Arthur, am to be king. And it was the women who, you had to be approved by the earth mother, the priestess, the goddess,
Mm.
to be rulers back then. They bestowed who they felt deemed worthy to rule, the country and the people. So, most definitely. And here's a sending universal butterfly. Hello, my dear. It is good to see you. And yes, change is inevitable. Try to remain flexible in nature. And hope things are groovy. And alrighty, so we're going to open up the floor for readings. And so, how Nancy and I are going to do this, if anybody wants a reading, of course, do the big me so I can see that. And Nancy has developed some questions for her readings, and I have a few for mine. I have three, but I will probably have four because I forgot to fit in I brought my witch oracle deck with me today and a couple different tarot decks, but I got a feeling I'm going to go with the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. So, yeah, we'll get that started. And I loved those readings, Heather. Oh, from before. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Now, of course, boom, me. So let me turn the page over so I can keep a list. So we have Jax would like a reading.
Okay.
And then
It
I'll.
says me. Oh,
Yes.
I got a new deck today. I got an ancestral deck. It just
And
came
I'm
out on
getting
the
it
16th,
too.
and this is what it looks like. It's the ancestral healing deck, and I'm going to use that deck today in my readings. But I wanted when I was talking about my grandmother and the beggars, I was looking for a picture of her, and I came across this one of my mother is in the middle, and her older brother is there, and her younger sister, and they were together. My mother was born and raised in Augusta, Georgia, and whoever took the pic, I can't remember if I took the picture or one of my cousins took the picture, but they said something about look happy. I mean, of course they were happy. I mean, they laughed their way through everything when they were together. It was so funny. But I want to, talking about ancestry and what we get, and I want you to look at my mother and my aunt and how their hands are. And of course, they're not aware, but they're laughing and they've brought their hands up to their chests.
Their hearts. Aww.
Yeah. But I thought, I just thought, well, I wonder how many. Now, I don't know that I have that mannerism, but I wonder through the generations, how many.
Well, sometimes you lean back and you go like this.
Well, yeah.
When you're so that your hands go in there, so maybe.
Did you want to say what your prompts are going to be and what? Let's see. We've got Jax, and then
we've got Jax, Carmela,
and
Kat has joined us, and
okay.
Butterfly. So for me, my questions are: what gifts will I harvest this season? How can I use them to find balance? How will they help me to grow during the dark half of the year? So those are my questions.
Okay, and my three are, and I came up with this all by myself. Number one is, as the leaves fall, what do I need to release? Number two is gathering the falling leaves. What do I need to hold close? And then the third one is, as I prepare for frosty nights, what will I see when I scry the flames in my fireplace? I'm assuming, and you know what? If you don't have a fireplace, just close your eyes and you have one right there.
Yeah, you can get a tiny little bowl, put some sand, like a little, or you can just get those little fake candles that you turn on if you got.
Yeah.
Be careful of fire flames and stuff, or those incense blocks or little all different ways you can get creative.
Yes.
So I'm actually going to have 4 cards because I needed to pull from the Witch's Oracle. And let me grab Jack's got Keeper of Silence. So I want to start looking at this book because it's very thick. She's got a lot of information. And so Jack's starting off. This is your witch card. Keeper of Silence. So this is a time for discretion. Whether you're working on a new project, idea, vision, or harboring thoughts of creating a new relationship or business, discretion is called for. Just like an ember needs to be protected from the wind, coaxed carefully into a robust fire, so it is with your idea sparks. And so it just continues on to guard your treasure. Be careful of whom you are sharing them with. And it suggests here too, you should not be fostering new fledgling life right now. The Keeper of Silence also serves as a guide for discernment. So just starting to take a step back and be more discerning of people coming into your circle. And I think you having that intuition, you've already got, a knack for that. You're like already on it. And at the end it says here, a witch knows she is deeply worthy, and her heart, soul, mind, and precious life energy are to be shared only with those who can respect that treasure. And it says, guard your worth. And hey, Beth, how are you? Good to see you, my dear. And what's really interesting, Jax, the first card for the first question, what gifts will I harvest this season? I got the 5 of Air, which is the 5 of Swords. And that's about drama, walking away, knowing when, knowing when to fight. He's like picking your battles, carefully. It's the card too that we typically see of like the bully card of people trying to, coax you into or goat you into an argument. That's some feeling of having to win, at no matter at what cost. And so for you, what gifts will I harvest this season? Having that discernment, that to me is what's standing out, that discernment. That's your gift that you are harvesting. You are now more able to discern who will put you into one of those, who would get, like in this picture here, she's keeping her balance and she's got all those birds flying around, and birds too can represent gossip, chaos, energy, and maintaining that sense of balance, maintaining a sense of integrity moving forward. And how can I use these gifts to find balance? I got the Messenger of Fire, which I'm going to pull the book open because she does things a little differently than a regular tarot. And the Messenger of Fire, let me find the fire card in here. I think she's really cool. I think of so the messengers. I serious? Okay, so the messengers are considered the knights. I haven't used this in a while, so I had to remember. So messengers of fire. So for me, usually the pages are like messengers, but in this deck, this is the messenger of fire. And it says here determination for a new adventure, innovation, independent creative action, just like anything creative that you are working on. Projects, kind of keeping it under wraps a little bit, keeping things to yourself. Um, and it's also spirited and headstrong. So this, to me, really kind of, from what I've known of you so far, is you. This really represents this court card. Represents you. And the quotes that go with this card is, "I have an unstoppable spirit and can co-create all that I desire." So this is how you can use these gifts of that discernment, of your creativity, and knowing who or when to share with, because you, again, like the balance on the wire, you're balancing all those candles, all those creative projects and ideas that are coming through. And I like the bottom one. "I trust in my vision and act accordingly, remaining true to what I most value and desire, which can manifest in many forms." So if this is how you maintain balance, you work with this, you connect with, um, like all those candles, all those things that, have brought you this far, um, within the light half of the year. And how will these gifts help me to continue growing during the dark half of the year? I got the Seven of Fire, which is the Seven of Wands. So again, as you build, um, yourself up with this harvest, your creative projects moving forward, the Seven of Wands is about protecting, creating boundaries, standing up for what you believe in. So this, everything that I have just read up to you, with especially with that discernment, that is what you will use to be able to stand your ground, not to let anyone topple you over, talk you out of who you are, your integrity, your ideas, or your projects. This gift of being able of discernment will help you to create healthy boundaries. You'll know who to keep out of your circle, who would, maybe undermine you. And this will help you continue to grow during the dark half of the season. And that's what I have for you, my dear. And hello, Moira has joined us. And what you got, Miss Nancy?
Well, I have three simple cards for you, Jax. The first is "As the leaves fall, what do I need to release?" And the card that came up from you for you is "Beneath the Surface, what is really driving you? True motives and breaking free." So break free from what is holding you back, um, and release that negativity. And I don't know, to me, this is your passion. Let go of the things um, that it's more than what no longer serves you, it's what's holding you back. And then you get the truth of who you really are. Uh, Gathering the falling leaves, what do I need to hold close? And this is the witch's gathering. Gather in power, come together in grace. Unity is rising, and all will be embraced. And I think this is a card of community. It's a card of gratitude. It's a card of being together and counting your blessings for what you have, and hold that close, because that's so important, because that's everyday life. And the final one is, as I prepare for frosty nights, what will I see when I scry the flames in my fireplace? And what came out of the stone deck was, see the beauty, gratitude, the sacred is everywhere.
Mm.
Look into the flames and see the sacred, and then hold that in your heart. That's what I have for you.
Wow, beautiful. And let's see. I went through her responses for me, and she goes, "For you, oh, I've got to break free." Queen hearing that now. Yep.
Yeah.
um, and Jack says, "Yes, yeah. Let's clear some room for what's really important." And she says, "That looks like my kind of shindig." So I just love her. That's awesome. And Pamela also said that she has never seen your hair down. Looks absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
So, and she
thank
says,
you.
I'm just dreaming of that first frosty night. And
I
Mona,
was on the phone with Pam, and I looked at the clock, and I said, "Oh my gosh, it's 15 minutes till I meet with Heather. I've got
oh,
to go and try and do something with my hair." And I thought, I'm just this is it.
it's
This is
fine
me.
to lay it down. Yes. And Jack said, yes, there's magic everywhere if you know where to look. Thank you so much, Nancy. Love it. And Beth says, it looks great, Nancy. So
Well,
someone
thank
said
you.
you look like a hippie woman, I think earlier somewhere in the comments. So
Yeah. Well, that's me. I'm a hippie crone.
so up next is Carmela flowing. It's been
Ah,
forever since I got to read for Carmela, so this is wonderful. And thank you again, everybody, for being here. And if you can, even if it's emoji after the show, in the comments would really help um, my channel. And when Nancy hosts next week, that will be able to help her channel. So we appreciate all the wonderful comments and the thumbs up and the subscriptions. But even if it's just an emoji in the comments, that really truly helps. So we appreciate that.
yes.
Okay, Carmela. And Beth says, I said she looks like she's rocking the Woodstock look. That's what she said.
Ah. You know, I had the opportunity to go to Woodstock, and I turned it down. And I've been kicking myself ever since.
My friend Amanda's husband was caught in the movie, when they did the
Oh,
documentary
yeah.
movie. And she goes, well, you got to see him bathing backside all exposed.
Yeah,
In one
yeah.
of the so and Beth said, oh my God. Oh, another same card came up. How interesting. So let's see. So let me.
That's pretty cool.
So, oh, were you ready? Did you want to go
Oh
first, or are you
no,
still?
I just was surprised at a card I drew. That's all.
Okay,
I'm
she's good. So, Carmela, you got Failure's Muse, and for, she refers to the wolves as our psyche howling at us, of that you'll die if you don't succeed and this and that. But I want to take a look, I mean, remind that wolves are extremely powerful. They're wild, they're part of nature, they're in touch with nature. Um, they connect with the cycles of the moon. They are extremely loyal. Um, and they're just a wonderful totem animal to have. So just get, I know there's a little bit of a glare, but this is one of my favorite cards with the artwork. She's walking with her wolves. And it says here, many of us are terrified of failure. Just like the potential of it feels like its lurking presence in the woods. But right now it says here, more dreams are killed by not trying than by failure. So what this card is starting to suggest to you is, despite any possible failures or what perceived failures of the past, know that it is still possible to keep forging ahead, still holding onto your dreams, not letting that fear hold you back from that. It says here, your soul is forged of lightning and stardust and cannot be destroyed. But only you can prove this truth to yourself by getting back up after failure and insisting on remembering who you really are and what you're really made of. I love that. And I know you've had a rough year health wise. I know I love wolves too. So it goes with, what gifts will I harvest this season? And it goes right with that. I got the Eight of Earth, and the Eight of Earth it's the Eight of Pentacles. This is about working hard, um, taking time to hone skills. There's a project working towards. It's about study, honing skills. Um, Kind of nose to the grind sort of thing. And again, with the pentacles, pentacles represent the health. So this is for me feeling that this past year been working on health, getting your health back. And I love the cello. I love that deep earthy sound of the cello. And you have all these beautiful pentacles growing out of the from the roots into the branches. So just working on getting yourself well, getting yourself grounded, getting yourself that sense of security. So these are the beautiful gifts that you are harvesting. And it says here, how can I use them to find balance? What better card for balance than the Chariot? So you are becoming more in charge of your life, moving forward. You hold the reins. It's your will that is going to keep you moving forward. And not losing track of that. Um, so yes, that's the important message from that one. It's being balanced, you're in control, and you're moving forward. And how will these gifts help me grow during the dark half of the year? And we got the messenger of fire again. So she said it will keep you inspired. It will light, your crown of candles will light the way. Your creativity, your passion will light the way for you in this dark year. And being able to, not again, forge ahead, not being afraid of that failure. And yeah, just having confidence in yourself again, and know that everything is as it should be. And that's what I have for you, my dear. Oh my goodness. Hey girl, hey, what's going on? Happy
Yeah,
maiden Allison and
look at all
Equinox.
that fall that she brought in. I
I
just
know
love.
all those leaves and acorn. No, are those acorns? Oh no, they're hearts. I was like going,
Yeah.
acorns. So you're next, my dear.
Um, Carmela, the as the leaves fall, what do I need to release? And the card that came out for you is the Reaper. And on the bottom of the card, it says, for the birth of something new to manifest, the death of something holding you back is inevitable. And so I just looking at this card, I wasn't really sure. So I drew a clarifier and I got the Tower. Okay, so I heard Heather saying, that you have been sick and we have missed you in the chat. We're so happy to have you back. But what you have been through, uh, I believe that, you know, you need to release the pain of that, but you need to hold on to the lessons learned during that time. And gathering the fallen leaves, what do I need to hold close? I got cleansing body and spirit. You need to take care of yourself. You need to pamper yourself. You need to relax and heal. And I don't know if you have kitty cats, but these kitty cats look like, you know, they're part of the healing process, you know. And just look at the relaxation on her face and the peace and contentment. And that's what you need to hold on to. And as I prepare for frosty nights, what I will see when I scry in the flames of my fireplace, well, I was shuffling um, the stones deck, and this came out. The card of scrying came out. Trust your vision, intuition, and plant seeds. Um, you know, I mean, we're talking about the harvest now, but as the frosty nights come, you need to plant seeds for the spring, and you know, be ready. And uh, you know, this looks like such an ancient card to me. I love the way her head is bowed, and there's power coming up from this crystal. Do you see it's coming up all around her? And you know, her chakras are lit up there. Her third eye, and I'm not sure, there are more that are up above. I'm not sure what the names are. Heather probably knows what they are, but there's a soul star chakra up.
Oh, there's multiple names,
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
Soul Star is the last one that I know of, but there's
right.
other
And
multiple.
so you know, that's what I have for you as you look in the fireplace. And I love that for you, Carmela, because it to me it shows healing, but it also shows a deep spirituality. And you know, like on the Fool's Journey, a lot of the cards have him walking on a rainbow way. Look at the rainbows that are there, and I love that for you.
Wait till you see what she says. So apparently we almost
Oh,
lost her this year.
oh my,
She
where I
made
don't.
she was on the other side. I need to move forward after being given life again. I was sent back. And she said, Nancy, she
Wow.
understands that Reaper. I was there.
Hmm.
So we are so happy to still have you, my
Oh
dear.
yes, my goodness.
Yes, as a young girl, I would give my tree offering. So, and oh, I can just picture Lulu in her buggy right now. Oh, how sweet. So cute. Her
Mm.
little chihuahua mix. So, Carmela, we love you, girl. Thanks, Spirit, because, you know, this has been
Yeah.
a year. I mean, a week ago today, I lost an artist friend back home. Perfect health, just, you know, started do some new paintings, posting them up, and 2 days later, after having a show hanging in a gallery, boom, we lost him of a heart attack. I mean, you just never know when you're
Mhm.
going to go. So live each moment as much as you can to the fullest.
Mhm.
And Flowing said powerful readings, and Shelby popped in. Hello, Shelby.
Mhm.
Got out of classes. I hope you're enjoying your school, and happy Mabon to you too, my dear. You were 4 hours from death. You were on the door. Okay,
Mm.
wow. Well, you're here, and we celebrate. We celebrate you in your life.
Yes, yes, we do.
So next up, I think Kat's still here. Kat had popped in. Yep, she's still here.
All
She said
right.
hi to Unicorn. She goes, she's new here, and I remember you being in here the other night. So Kat is up next. What gifts will Kat harvest this season? Here, let me move my keyboard out of the way. So I got yarn and cards and crystals around me. It's one of those days. So, Kat, what gifts will Kat harvest this season? Oh, Carmel says, tears flow, ladies. Thank you.
Oh,
How can I, how can I use these gifts? Okay. So, Kat, from the Witch Oracle, you got the songstress. I don't know if you like, I mean, we all love to sing, whether we can sing or not. We enjoy music, and maybe you might even play a few instruments, but this, or loves to sing. But I got the songstress for you. And I love how it begins in the book where it says, "When was the last time you had a conversation with the moon, made music for the night sky, sang songs to the stars? When was the last time you showed up fully, just as you are, and offered your voice to the universe?" Which incidentally means one song. The uni and verse, it means one song. So she goes on to talk about how we, well, I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect enough, I shouldn't sing in public, I shouldn't do this, or because we put too much of a perfectionism, on ourselves. I'm too old, like I go here, too old, too late, too unoriginal. Get rid of those twos. That it's like she says here, it's robbing our passions, and our offerings that we can give not just to us but to the world around us, and to those who we believe gave us life, our spiritual guidance, our creator, our deities, whoever we connect with. We were put here to be able to experience all beautiful aspects, and dark. I mean, this is, the equinox, there is the dark and the light, but this is about knowing how, um, or realizing that we don't have to be perfect to sing our hearts out, to do whatever it is that we want to do. People see my art. I'm going really quick here. People say, "Oh, your art is a meta." People say I can't draw, but you know what? I couldn't either. I had to go and take years of school to be able to get to a certain point where I could. So a lot of us don't start out as perfect, and sometimes we never get to that perfection, But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't share our songs, our what brings us joy, our gifts to others. So don't lose your voice. It's like, don't hide your voice, don't hide who you are, because nobody's perfect. Think of the Alanis Morissette song "Perfect." If you go look at the lyrics of that song, it'll make a lot of sense. I know it does for me. So what gifts will you harvest this season, Kat? I got transformation, and this is the death card in Colette's tarot. And that's exactly what death is. It's a transformation, it's a rebirth. So you're harvesting something that you've been through this first half of the light year. There's been a rebirth, lots of transformation going on in your life. And just like her looking at holding that in her hands, what are we transforming? What are we, getting ready to move into? And how can I use these gifts to find balance at this time of year? I got the Three of Water, which is the Three of Cups, finding joy with others, finding joy within yourself. It's a celebration. You know, usually it's the three of cups is showing the women celebrating together. Well, be that mermaid, celebrate that, in the water, whatever it is using these gifts, helping you find balance, is with the three of water. So it's enjoying your emotions, exploring your emotions. And water is also creative, it's artistic, whatever form it is. So with that songstress, maybe moving into music or the arts, allowing this energy of this time of year to inspire you to do something that's something new to you or creative. And how can these gifts help me during the dark half of the year? The Seven of Air, which is the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is when, you know, people try to, take advantage of us. It's about theft or betrayal. And so what I love about these birds is they're all coming, around her, and it's like not letting anybody steal your song, your voice, your joy, whatever creative pursuits that you have. Remember, of the Three of the Cups, you're this transformation, and there's no need to be perfect. You just need to be you, Kat. And don't let anyone steal that joy or take that from you. And that's what I have for you, Miss Nancy.
Okay, Kat. Um I heard Heather say emotion, in the reading, and I was paying attention to my cards, but I heard that. And what you need to release as the leaves fall is tears of joy and sorrow. Don't hold things in. Um, you know, release your feelings. Don't hide them away, deep. I mean, you need to express yourself. Um, and let some sad things go, and cry. And they're happy tears too. And I've talked about this before. I have a crying cloth, and I only gather happy tears in it. And it's a sacred cloth, because usually when I connect with spirit, I cry. That's how I know, that I'm they are giving me a powerful message. And I collect my tears in this scarf that I have uh you know uh allocated to be my sacred cloth. But you might want to think about that, because tears are important, happy tears and sad tears. And gathering the falling leaves, what do I need to hold close? um Connect with Gaia. Now here I am, a hippie crone, telling you to hug a tree. And look at those roots. When you connect with Gaia, you're not only connecting with the goddess and the creator of this beautiful world that we have. You're connecting down deep, deep into the earth, and past the stones to the bones of our ancestors, your ancestors, and onto the beautiful crystals and the magma. And this is the way that you ground yourself. Look at the roots here, but look at the roots that are there attached to her feet. I think that what you need to do is, on a very regular basis, ground yourself and hold it close. And as you prepare for frosty nights, what will I see when I scry in the flames of my fireplace? Well, you will see an owl and some candles, and the card that came up is the Witch's Rosary. It says, craft your skills with intentions, repeated, a practice of magic powered by purpose. And I love that for you. What I see here is is a practice of ritual. And a ritual is what makes things sacred. When you pick up a deck of cards and you open them up, and you kind of shuffle them a little bit, and you don't interact with them at all, and you pull out a card, it means nothing. It just, okay, this says witch lungs, you know. But when you have a ritual before you start whatever you're doing, if you're reading your cards, or if you're meditating, or if you're connecting to your spirit guides or ancestors, when you have a ritual, um, and you look at a card like this, you see it through different eyes, because you're connected to spirit. And you get a true message. And I mean, ritual is very important in my life, and I think in a lot of people in the chat, that ritual is important too.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's anyone who has not set up some rituals, daily rituals in your life, it will add a new dimension to your living.
Yes.
And I strongly suggest
Concur.
that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's simple things that we do every day that we don't realize are rituals.
Yes. Yes.
And when we look at them, that at those as that inspires us, and realizes really just how connected. I mean, like Selena would talk about, one of her daily rituals is that when she gets her coffee in the morning and she's stirring, she's
Mhm.
putting that intent into, it's just stirring that cup of coffee, stirring the milk or whatever she puts in, and having that. She
Mhm.
goes, that's part of her morning. So that's
Right.
beautiful. And I love this. So Kat says, so true. I walk trails every day. And she said, saw owl on trail. It was waiting for her.
Ah, oh, I love that. I love
And
that.
she says, thank you.
One of my morning rituals when I get up and my hair is all upside down and we don't even want to talk about it,
Hi, Irene.
but
Yeah.
I sit down, I go in the bathroom and I have this little a seat that I sit on, in front of the mirror and everything. And before I brush my teeth or do anything, I look in the mirror and I say, "Hello, gorgeous." And it
There you
makes me
go.
laugh because I look
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. But the laughter raises my vibration. And then I start
Hmm.
thinking, well, what am I going to do today? This is what we're going to do. And I set my intentions for the day. And, when you plan it out, it usually happens.
Yeah.
And I also I ground myself when I get out of bed because if I'm not grounded, I am all over the place.
Hmm.
So, rituals are important.
Even us going to the park, at least once a
Mhm.
week now, that's a ritual. I make sure I
Mhm.
take an extra stone that, because I have so many, try to take one with me now and leave it in certain places. So even simple little things like that, getting up and sitting outside in the morning with a cup of coffee and either my journal or some art supplies and just sitting there enjoying, the quiet morning. Hopefully it stays quiet long enough, but
Yeah.
so, and Butterfly said, yes, hello, gorgeous. I love it. And Allison said, Nancy, look at yourself in the mirror and say, hello, beautiful, or good morning, sunshine, or something similar. Yes, very powerful. Yep, it brightens up our mood. So, very nice. So, we have one person left to read for.
Okay.
And are you doing okay? We are at 3:13. Well, my
Yeah.
time, 3:13.
Yeah.
Um,
313.
and Irene
313
joined
happened a
us.
long time ago here, Heather.
Yeah, I bet. And Irene said, I don't even look in the mirror anymore. Well, haven't since my
Oh.
daughter died. I look so different when I do take a peek. Aw, hugs,
Well,
Irene.
Irene, one of the things that I have noticed, and I mean, this is okay. You get up in the morning and you got your gown on or something, or you take your gown off, right? And you're sitting there in front of the mirror. And I have affirmed that I am gorgeous, but I am a 78-year-old gorgeous crone, and I am slowly watching my body age,
Yeah.
and it is an experience. And what it has done for me, I mean, I'm very close to my mother. I mean, I was to my father too, but my mother and I had a special bond because when I was really young, my father traveled a lot. And so I was with my mother a lot. And now that I am aging and I have, the sags and, we just won't even go into all
Go
of it.
there.
But it's like every week there's something different,
Yeah.
and I'm
Hmm.
losing weight in my face and I have got these wrinkles, but they're happy wrinkles. But when I look at my hands, I see my mother's hands when
Yeah.
she was older. And I'm 78. And when my mother turned 80, I told her, I said, well, you're old, you know? That I've always said that you're not old, but mother, I mean, let's face it, 80 is old. Um, and I'm 2 years away from 80, so I'm not old yet. I'm still a young crone. But when I turn 80, I'm going to be old as dirt. Okay. And that's okay because that's what happens. That's life, you
Hmm.
know? And this body's been through a lot, you know? And that's a good thing. And
Yes.
fortunately, I am still, I have my three children with me.
Hmm.
But I can't even imagine the pain that of having a child die before you do. So I can understand why um, there's there's something gone when you look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Can understand that. Yeah, and I'm sending you love and a great big crone hug.
Oh, yeah. I saw that with my aunt when we lost my cousin. You know, she still had her daughter, the other daughter, but it just, you know, I mean, she was strong and she made it through, but um yeah, it so Irene,
Hmm.
most definitely.
Yeah.
And Kat said though, Nancy, you look younger, seriously. I told her she was
Well,
what?
thank
I
you.
thought she was
Thank
70
you.
the
You
other
know,
day.
I
I
mean, this is
know.
okay. This is, I'm going to say this, and a lot of feminists would be
Appalled? No.
appalled or incensed, like Ray, uh, uh, what was that singer? I don't know, Ray Stevens, and he'd say she was incensed.
Yeah.
Um, my husband took good care of me,
Mm,
and I didn't. I didn't, when I was pregnant with our first child, when I was 7 months pregnant, I sort of retired and I didn't go back to work until my third child was starting high school. And I was a stay at home mom because we thought that that was the best thing for our family.
mhm.
But I didn't have to work hard, really hard, like so many people do these days.
Yeah.
And but my husband, God rest his soul, he worked 3 and 4 jobs so I could stay at home with the children. And so it took its toll on him, you know. But anyhow, that's enough of that.
Yeah. I don't know
Um,
how my mom did all those long hours when she did. And my
yeah.
dad had the same 2 jobs for 40 years. Up
Hmm.
at 5, out to the
Hmm.
first job, had an hour off, and then off to, he wouldn't get home until what, 7 o'clock at night from 5 or 6 in the morning.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Hmm.
our parents did what they had to do. And Allison said, same Nancy, my hands look just like my mother's.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said she looked,
And there's a beauty in aging. There really is. I want to do some lives on my channel where I talk about aging and just discuss things about life. I mean,
mhm,
maybe pull some cards and stuff, but I would like to do that because there's a lot to be learned, and there's a lot of spiritual work to be able to embrace who I am now and who I am becoming.
mhm.
And that's a mouthful right there.
And Irene, no apology, sweetheart. You're not a downer.
Oh
We are
no.
here
Oh
to
my gosh,
support you in
no.
this.
No. No.
That's
I
yeah.
mean, we have things in our lives that forever change us.
Yep. Sierra was
And
saying no
for
apology.
me, and Heather and I have talked about this, I think. For me, when I was 13 years old, my 14-year-old cousin died of a cerebral hemorrhage.
So we
And
both lost cousins that year.
that absolutely devastated me. That is the most traumatic thing that has happened in my life.
Hmm.
And on September 19th, um, it was 65 years since she passed, and she would have been 79, her last birthday. And that's hard to get my head around,
Hmm.
you know. But she also is one of my spirit guides. And when I was meditating one time, I just all of a sudden I felt her essence. I mean, it was like she was all around me.
That's beautiful.
And you know what I heard in my head? I heard her voice in my head. Uh, I mean, it was in my head. I didn't hear it with my ears. Um, she said, "It took such a long time for you to be ready, for me to
Hmm.
know that she was one of my spirit guides." And I mean, to me, that was just, she served her purpose, and she's been guiding me. I mean, I didn't realize that she was one of my guides. But we have one more to read for, don't we?
Yep,
Butterfly.
and that's okay. And the same thing with my cousin. She was 16, and if her last month she would have been she shared the same day as birthday as Lexi on the 9th.
Ah,
And she would have been, um, my age, 54, and
mhm,
so we never forget them. And today she popped up while writing for
mhm.
some reason, stuff that I never do my, and boom, and I was like, whoa, okay, she must be stopping by to say hi. And look who has joined us really quick. Magus is here. So people, this is Magus's other channel. He loves manga, so he has a
Ah,
manga channel.
well, goodness,
So,
I don't know if I've subscribed to that or not, Magus.
but please, no
Yeah, we
apologies,
love we
Irene.
love you. No, no,
Yes,
Irene, please. You know, I
we
mean,
are here to support each
we
other.
all love and support each other. That's the whole purpose. Like Heather says, this is a safe place. We can talk about anything.
Hmm.
You know.
Definitely. So I have Marie for butterfly, and I already have cards pulled for butterfly, and I think the card from the Witch Oracle that came out is perfect, for the collective as well. And all these poor cards are starting to separate already. Oh my goodness. So you got the phoenix butterfly, and in very similar fashion, like the butterfly in its cocoon, in its pupa, it completely dissolves into a liquid substance and literally reforms itself into the butterfly. So with the phoenix,
Mm.
burning into ash and coming out of that ash into a new form, that's powerful. And so you have the Phoenix. This is one of my favorite cards in this whole deck. And I'm going to read the whole thing, and because it's got a good it's got vibe. Let's just say it that way for us ladies especially. And it says here, the woman in the fire is no longer a witch being burned due to fear, control, or power. The woman in the fire today is a phoenix whose regeneration alights us with dreams of what we still can be. You were born with transformation in your veins. The fire they used to burn us hundreds of years ago, and the myriad ways they have used force to suppress, annihilate, and burn your sovereignty into compliance right here, right now, is losing its heat. You and your ancestors have taken the fire they used to destroy and brought it forward as fire to transform. The witch doesn't seek retribution. She channels her rage, power, sadness, and brokenness into her life force, her creativity. She is a living transformation, unfolding her wings in the flames of change. Don't seek stasis or passivity or comfort. Let it all burn. Burn with it to discover the indestructible philosopher's stone at the bottom of the alchemist's bowl. It is your soul revealing its indestructible nature. Let this time of change shape your life to become the flaming legacy of your phoenix spirit. Mic drop. That's it. We're done. Good night, everybody. But I mean, that says a lot. Butterfly. I mean, exact same thing. Transformation from caterpillar to butterfly. Um, so your first card for what gifts will I harvest this season? I got the Eight of Water. So what that's telling me is that the Eight of Cups. This past year, you have chosen to decide emotionally to walk away from what no longer serves you. There are things that the other cups no longer satisfies. You know that there is yet more, and you're not willing to settle for less. And like that ship going out to sea, you're traversing into a whole new I want to say dimension. Dimension just jumped in my head. I don't know if there's a physical move, but this feels like a very strong emotional move, an intuitive move into more who you are spiritually. And she's got a beautiful treasure chest of already the little pearls, or the cups that she's collected along the way, but there's still more that she's seeking. And she's looking up to that water to move forward. So, what you are harvesting is that sense of still wonder of leaving, what's no longer serving you behind and going towards something else. And how can you use this gift to find balance? I got the page of air, and that would be the page of swords. And so the page, very interested in wanting to study, to learn, to connect with the wisdom of ourselves, our intuition, wanting to learn how to communicate more, speak more, participate more. This is, that page taking, it's they're a messenger as well. So the message is coming. I keep hearing my cat yowling next door. So I'm sorry, everybody.
He has a
So
message.
it's taking, that ace of swords, that initial burst of raw thought and clarity and ideas, and taking that and then examining that and starting to say, here, it's in your hands now. What are you going to do with it? Use this, like with it being, balance, equinox, the light and the dark, a blade of a sword, even though these are feathers in here. But so the balance of the wings, on her, but with the sword, there's a balance, there's two sides of that blade. And so this is about using that gift of moving forward and opening up a new creative way of thinking and looking ahead. And how will these gifts help you to continue growing during the dark months? I got the five of water. So all of that will, to me too, that page of air could also be meditating. So meditating upon what you have left behind, what you have already collected, and in search for something else. We have the five of water, which is, the five of cups. There's sadness, there's depression, there's grief, in the card. But in here, she's coming out of her shell now. So this is the opportunity to allow these gifts to help you move through this when things get too hard or difficult during the dark months. Because some people, don't get enough vitamin D, and they have a hard time, going through winter, um, through with depression and things, anxiety like that. So with these beautiful gifts and clarity, it'll help you move through those moments of grief or sadness, or anxiety. And it'll be more like your support. It'll be a coping skill. It'll be able to help you through those emotions. um and that's what I have for you, butterfly. I hope that resonated. I'm giving over to Nancy.
Butterfly, I've got an interesting card for as the leaves fall, what do I need to release? And I got the Lady of the Lake for you. And it says new beginnings, something is about to happen. So I think what you need to release is some things in your past that no longer serve you, and that you are moving into something new, something wonderful is about to happen, and you need to be prepared for that, and by doing that, get rid of all this trash that no longer serves you, and you're going to have like a clean start. Gathering the fall leaves, what do I need to hold close? I love this, because to me this is ancestral. It's elderberries. There is a knowing within bone. Allow it to guide you. The bones of our ancestors. And our DNA is part of their DNA back as far as you can go, Um, and that is what you need to hold close, the love and the support of your ancestors. And I think we're going to see a kitty cat in a minute. And as you prepare for frosty nights, what will you see when you scry the flames of the fireplace? And I love this because I see fire. It's meditations for creativity. And I love that. Look at it looks like he's setting a cancer on fire.
I love that.
But I love that because, well, look at the cat. Look, the cat's making a painting, and the dog is too.
Oh, I love that. That's cool.
And I just absolutely love this. But the thing is you know, we all want to create. Okay, now Heather is an artist, you know, and she has worked hard at her craft for decades to
Mhm.
get to the creativity level that she is at right now. But you know what? I have watercolors and I have gouache and I have um clay that I model, and I just do all kinds of things um, that bring me joy. You know, I don't have to show them to anybody. I mean, if I show some of my watercolors to somebody, well, let's not even go there. But
Don't
anyhow,
start.
what you need to do is to create an expression of what is inside you, you know,
Mhm.
and it you will understand it, and as you do it, you will enjoy it. And you know, I know that I will never be a Picasso, but you know what,
Neither will I.
I
Mhm.
can be a Nancy
Definitely.
Elizabeth,
There you
and that's enough.
go.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
I
what I
like
have.
that. That's what she's got, and she's sticking to it.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And Barfly says, I love that so much. And let's see. And that makes sense. That makes so much sense. I have severed a lot of links. Okay. Walked away from a lot of people. And Magus was bragging about being a Sag, and I had to go brag
Yes,
too.
there's my bookcase. That's part of it. My witchy Halloweeny bookcase, Magus. And then
Got a lot.
I've got decks all around me. It's insane.
And I do draw and paint a lot as well as. Oh, Butterfly, I like you
All
even more.
right.
You know, Butterfly, while I have you here, if you ever feel confident enough, not or confident, but you feel safe and you might insecure and you're interested, Jonathan Daly and I get together every now and then and we do a live painting session. And this Thursday, him and I are going to be working on some new our paintings while we're live and talking to folks in chat. So if you
And it's
ever
so
want to,
much fun watching them. Oh my goodness.
and if you ever want
Jonathan
to
is in
join,
Hawaii and you hear
mhm.
these peacocks, you know, and birds calling out and everything. It's just insane. It's
And I
wonderful.
also do a poetry as well. I have to bring back the poetry at some
Yes,
point.
you do.
So if you ever want to, would be open to joining me, I would love to have you. No pressure, but that invitation is definitely open. And let's see, Jack said, heck yeah, take that soul out for a spin, let it fly. And we have,
Magus, do you write poetry?
I wouldn't be surprised if he,
I
oh,
just
I am
wondered.
coming. Wonderful. Well, I hope you can join us someday. Or even this Thursday if you want. I haven't made the thumbnail yet, Butterfly. And Spiritual Alchemy Energy, the podcast with Julie, is here. Hello, I think you're new
Well,
to
he
my
said he
chat.
does. You know, I don't know if he
Well,
would,
it's hard
you
to
know,
get Magus to join me for anything. He's
I
very,
know.
very
What's
shy.
up with that, Magus?
His internet, I believe, he doesn't have the best internet for his area because he's like me. We're up in the Pacific
Yeah,
Northwest. You know, he's
yeah.
somewhere. So I know what that's all like about internet. So it is Julie. Okay, so you have a new channel.
Hey,
Wonderful.
Julie.
Um, I like poetry, but I'm really bad at writing it. You know, some people thought the same thing, and then once they started reading and sharing in the chat, like Nancy, you know, and then eventually joining us, people aren't as bad as they think they are. They really aren't.
Well, it's
Um,
fun. I mean, even if, you know, I mean, I think writing poetry is great fun. It just sort of flows. And if it doesn't make sense to anybody else, it's okay. It makes sense to me, you
yep.
know? And Heather is she is a wordsmith. I mean, the phrases that she comes up
That's
with in
very
her
gracious of
poetry.
you.
Oh,
That's very
well, it's
gracious.
truth. It's a truth. I mean, you know, I mean,
Because
oh
there are
my
some.
gosh. I mean, you can see what she says. And that, I mean, that's a gift.
Oh, thank you. And Mega says, I started putting my poetry to music. Of course you did.
Oh,
Of course you
yeah.
did. You're extremely talented.
Yes.
And Irene says, I'm a really good writer otherwise, so I'm told. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Well, we all have talents and hidden
Hmm.
talents, you know.
And she's right. I love that. Irene, I wish you would write poetry. A great way to connect with your daughter. Just let whatever
Oh,
come out,
oh yeah.
connect. And now a serious butterfly. If you ever want to join Jonathan and I for a live painting session or a poetry, my email is in the description. I can write a haiku. I've written one for almost each card in the Witch's Wisdom.
Oh my, we're
Pam,
gonna have to discuss that, Pamela.
work on. I mean, we really. I need some fresh talent in my channel. I need some new, fresh peeps
Well,
to
good
join
good
me.
luck with Pamela. I've tried, and
Oh,
Gerald's
really?
tried, and goodness knows who else has tried.
Loves listening to everyone's poetry. Oh, thank you, Flowing. Oops. All righty. So we are at 3:37. And again, Nancy and I thank everybody for being here. I was surprised Nancy was able to join me. She had a late night with Mr. Scott.
Yeah, and let's
Three
see. Tomorrow I've got a live with Ginger Faye. We're
Ginger
going to do
Faye.
Heather. We're going to do Heaven and Earth readings at 7 p.m. And then Friday I have a 1 o'clock with Sun Psychic Jean. We're going to be doing, I'm not sure what kind of readings. And
Mhm.
then Sunday with Scott again at 7 p.m.
So
And we
she's a
held
busy
forth for
lady.
a long time. It was 2 hours and 48 minutes. And
Three.
I
Don't
must
get me wrong.
admit,
3 minutes, three
I was
hours.
tired. I was tired.
Yes. So, but no 3 hours here. I wouldn't put my Nancy through that. But I love that she was able to join us. And let's see, today, let's see, okay, I'm trying to keep track of the day. So Wednesday, Jackie and I should be back for our holding court, and we'll be talking about the Kingdom Cups on Wednesday. And then Friday, my show. I'm not sure if I will have a guest or not on Friday. And I probably will do a pop up. I know my yarn readings were a big hit last week, so and I had a lot of fun doing those. So and I'm getting a new deck, a couple new decks. The Mabon. I was hoping the Mabon would be here in time for today,
Mhm.
but I probably won't get it until Thursday or Friday. But I'll have it for then because it's still like a week long. It's not just one day when we celebrate. And the ancestral, because I've been wanting to do more ancestral readings. So I'm looking forward to the
Yeah.
ancestral. And oh, thank you, Allison. Paintings are lovely, quite beautiful. Very, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And let's see, that was beautiful last night, Nancy. The
Well,
three
thank
hours, I
you.
don't know.
Yeah.
I would have been like,
Thank you. I was, I had a jug of V8 splash. And when Scott came to visit, he brought a whole bunch of it with him, and he just on his lives, he just chugs it. So I got this great big thing of V8. And when he wasn't looking, I started chugging it on, and everybody in the chat. I mean, it was so funny because then he looked back and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I just chugged it all night. I mean, to stay hydrated, right?
You have to for that kind of a marathon. My goodness. And Pam said this was such a nice equinox get together. Thank you so much. Well, thank you. And again, thank you, Pam, for those beautiful cards that you pulled for me and shared with Nancy. And Alison says, I enjoy Heather's poetry. It's not her thing to be able to write it, but yeah, I got to bring back that show. And Magus is sending love to all the beautiful souls here.
Yeah.
Try to keep up here with chat. Jax is saying, everyone have a good evening. Yes. And let's see. Butterfly said, thank you so much for your time and energy. So appreciated. Much love to both and all. Oh, thank you. And I didn't realize you guys were even on. So, and Christina, hello, my dear. I didn't know if you were in chat or if you just joined us, but thank you. And for Christina down under, you were actually going into spring. It's Astara for you guys down in
Yeah.
Australia. So I hope you have a beautiful Astara and a beautiful start to your spring. And you are so welcome again, Carmela. And I think I've caught up with Everything. Let's see. That's hilarious. His pink power juice. Yeah. Loaded with sugar.
Sugar.
I get it.
Well, actually, when you look at it, it has like vitamin C and D in it, and for a glass, a 8-ounce glass, it's 40 calories. That's not many. When you think of how much pop is.
Well, not calories. I'm talking about sugar. So I've been trying to watch my sugar.
Well,
Not so
yeah,
good these days.
sugar's addictive.
Well, I was with my friend Denise. I got to see her, and for people who, that's right, really quick, for those who knew I was going to see my friend Denise and I, oh my God, it was like, because her and I haven't seen each other in about 17 years. It was like not a day had passed. I could not wait to get my arms around her. It was wonderful. She spent Saturday with me. She spent most of Sunday with me. We stayed up late. We were kicking back some cokes. We were doing yarning. I did a reading for her, and then we went to the goddess temple and to Lithia. I mean, it was a beautiful weekend. So it was so nice to actually have a friend here to put my arms around and hug. So
I just got from my son. He said Jimmy Kimmel's back. ABC reversed their decision.
no, we can only get Colbert back. But there's something else in the works. So anyways, thank you again, everybody. It was, Irene. It was an amazing weekend. I really needed,
Oh yeah,
her to be here, a friend to put my arms around. So it was lovely. It was a lovely way to get ready for the Mabon celebration. So, and Nancy and I, again, thank you, everybody. We hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see.
Next week it'll be on my channel, and there's no telling what we're going to talk about.
Because Nancy and I are switching back and forth. Somebody wants to do some more solo shows. So, but yeah, have a great week, everybody. Maybe we'll see you in Ginger's chat tomorrow with her and Nancy. And yes, I did have a wonderful visit. It was amazing. So, everybody have a great rest of your week and night, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.